You just got lost. No phone, no map, no GPS. Just you, complete darkness, and something moving in the bushes behind you. Your heart is racing, your hands are shaking, and your brain is screaming at you to run. But here is the insane part. Your ancient ancestor, standing in this exact same spot, in this exact same darkness, with real predators actually surrounding them, their brain did not panic. It did something yours has completely forgotten how to do. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what that was, why you lost it, and honestly, it is going to make you a little uncomfortable about how dependent you have become on a small rectangle in your pocket.
For modern humans, getting lost means mild panic, a moment of embarrassment, and opening Google Maps. Problem solved in 30 seconds. But for ancient humans, getting lost meant something on a completely different level of terrifying. It meant no tribe, no fire, no food, no protection. You were suddenly alone in a world where everything larger than you wanted to eat you. Wolves tracked by smell, big cats hunted in darkness specifically. Every predator within a mile radius could detect a lone, separated human almost immediately. And there was no rescue team coming, no helicopter, no search party with flashlights. If you did not figure out where you were before nightfall, the odds of surviving that night dropped dramatically. Getting lost, even for a few hours, was not an inconvenience. It was potentially a death sentence. And yet somehow, for 2 million years, our ancestors survived it. Not by luck, not by accident, but by using a brain that was specifically and powerfully wired for exactly this situation, in a way that yours simply is not anymore.
Here is where it gets genuinely fascinating. Ancient humans had what neuroscientists now describe as a hyperactive spatial memory system. The hippocampus, the region of your brain responsible for navigation, spatial awareness, and environmental memory, was once one of the most powerful and constantly used survival tools in the entire human body. Studies conducted on indigenous tribes, who still live without modern technology, show their hippocampus is measurably larger and significantly more active than the average modern human brain. And the reason is devastatingly simple. They use it every single day for survival. Ancient humans tracked the angle and arc of the sun to calculate direction and time with remarkable accuracy. They memorized star patterns from early childhood and used them like a permanent map burned into their memory that they carried everywhere. They could identify specific rivers and water sources from miles away purely by sound, distinguishing the acoustic signature of moving water from wind through trees with precision that seems almost supernatural to us now. They tracked their own footprints backwards through instinct without consciously thinking about it. They memorized terrain features, specific rock formations, unusual trees, the shape of hills against the skyline, building an internal three-dimensional map of their environment that updated constantly as they moved. And perhaps most remarkably, they could actually smell water before they could see it, detecting moisture carried in air currents and following it with confidence. Their brain, in the moment of being lost, was not shutting down. It was not spiraling into panic. It was doing the exact opposite, switching into a higher gear, locking every sense onto the environment and calculating with everything it had.
And now, here is the part that genuinely sounds crazy, but is completely scientifically documented. When ancient humans realized they were lost, they would immediately go completely silent and completely still, because movement burns energy and creates noise that masks environmental information. They would press their body flat against the ground to feel low-frequency vibrations traveling through the earth from animal movement, water flow, and even distant human activity miles away. They would take short, rapid bursts of air through their nose in quick succession, exactly the same technique predators use, because acute fear responses sharpen the human olfactory system to near animal sensitivity levels for a short window of time. They would taste soil and lick certain rocks to identify specific minerals that reliably indicate nearby water sources beneath the ground. Your ancestor was not running around in panic, burning energy and making noise. They were on the ground, completely still, completely silent, turning their entire body into a precision survival instrument and reading the environment like a language they had spoken since birth.
Now here is the part that should genuinely disturb you. A landmark 2020 study from University College London found something that researchers themselves described as alarming. People who regularly use GPS navigation show a measurable and consistent reduction in hippocampal activity over time. Not a small reduction, a significant one. Your brain, which is the most energy-expensive organ in your entire body and ruthlessly eliminates anything it decides it no longer needs, is literally identifying navigation as an unnecessary function and quietly reducing the resources it dedicates to it. Because your brain follows one absolute rule above all others: use it or lose it. Every time you open Google Maps instead of trying to figure out where you are, every time you follow a blue line instead of reading your environment, every time you let an algorithm make a spatial decision your brain used to make, you are making a tiny withdrawal from an ancient account. And those withdrawals are adding up. The navigational system that kept your direct ancestors alive for 2 million years, through ice ages, migrations across continents, through predator-filled nights with zero artificial light, is quietly going to sleep inside your skull right now because you have not needed it in years. Ancient humans who got lost did not have a weaker or more primitive brain than you. In this specific and critical way, they had a stronger one.
Go back to that moment at the beginning. You lost. Dark forest. No phone. Something moving in the bushes. You know what your ancestor did in that exact moment? They stopped. They breathed. They pressed their hand to the ground. They looked up at the stars. They smelled the air. And their brain, that ancient, powerful, underestimated brain, started talking to them in a language built over 2 million years of survival. They did not need GPS. They did not need a signal. They did not need anyone to come and find them. They were the map. They were the compass. They were the survival system. And somewhere deep inside the hippocampus you have been slowly putting to sleep, that system still exists. It is just waiting for you to stop outsourcing it. They were not lost. They were just reading a language we forgot we ever knew.